Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to do a reading for The Chosen. I'm doing a slightly different setup because I'm waiting for my other phone to come in since my phone is cracked. So hopefully this will work out well. Um, Hopefully it doesn't take a long time to upload on my channel. This is my very first time recording from my laptop. So we'll see how this goes. But let's jump in. Of course, you all know I have reopened for personal readings, so you can get a personal reading with me over the phone, 30-minute or 1 hour sessions. Just shoot me an email. That's going to be in the description box. And you can also order any of my other services that I offer, whether it's my decks, the ancestors money. Of course, many of you know about the ancestors money, but I'll show it to you if you don't. The Madam CJ Walker. These are very powerful tools to have in your spiritual toolkit. Malcolm X. Um, I have Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and I also have Dr. Martin Luther King, but I cannot, well, it's in my other office right now, so I would have to get that. But many of you, if you saw those, then of course you know that the Martin Luther King money is no different. So definitely order yours, and any of my decks, my book, anything that you would like to order, just inquire about it and I'll give you the price list. So let's jump right in. So I'm starting off with a Declare and Decree deck. If you find this resonates with you, order your own deck. So this, you're going to write down whatever comes out, put it on paper and burn it to help clear it from your energy. So we're starting off with a generational curse breaking, very powerful ritual that needs to be done if you have not done it yet. So it says all generational curses over myself, my ancestors, my offspring, the parent of my children and their ancestors is now destroyed in spirit and in flesh. So you can screenshot that, pause it, write it down on paper and burn it, okay? You're clearing out all generational curses over your lineage. If you want to take it a step further, you can always get a white candle and you're going to write on the white candle, I reclaim my inheritance, birthright, and sovereignty on behalf of myself and my lineage in spirit and in flesh. So I reclaim my inheritance, birthright, and sovereignty on behalf of myself and my lineage in spirit and in flesh. You'll write that on a white candle, light it, let it burn through. Give thanks to the Most High and your spiritual team for helping you to reclaim what is inherently yours. So let's jump right in. I'm going to start off with a message from the ancestors, and then we'll jump into the other part of the reading to see what you need to know at this time. I appreciate everybody who joined us for the group ritual that we recently did live. It was very, very powerful. Definitely go back and check out that live if you're curious to know what ritual we did together and if you would like to join as a spiritual warrior out there. So let's see. So this says, we need you to send us currency to complete that task. Okay, they want you to send them currency. So you may feel guided to use the ancestors' money that I've created here, but you want to send over currency. So there's something that you would like for your spiritual team to help you with, and they're needing currency in order to um, do their part to help you on this side. Okay. So let's see. I also have here, we are always watching over you. We never leave you alone. So your spiritual team is always watching over you. You're always protected. There is never a time where they're not making sure that you are safe. And then you have here, you have helped us to break the chains. So strong indicator that whatever you have been doing has been very, very powerful to help to break the chains off of your lineage. Okay. So they're definitely verifying that you have helped them to break the chains. We are always watching over you, and they're seeking currency to help to complete a task that you may need. So keep that in mind. If you want to order the ancestors money, you can always reach out to me. It's $18.88. And each pack consists of 88 notes. Okay. So let's jump right into it and see what is the message. Okay, so this says oak tree, permanence, stability, protection, growth, longevity, legacy. Okay. So there's some very stable energy that's showing up for you. Okay. It's showing that there is longevity here. It feels like you're getting back to your roots, you're getting back to your origin, and this is permanent, like it's immovable, it's unshakable. Let me clarify, let's see what's coming through for the oak tree. You might also find that you're drawn to a specific tree that helps you to feel more connected to your ancestors, more connected to nature. Um, so consider doing some of your rituals. So you have here bedroom, intimacy, love. It's also speaking on sexual fulfillment, but it could be alone time, dream time, retiring, rest. So I have to tap in and see what's going on here, okay? Because I'm not sure which direction we're going with this particular card. Um, Let me see. So then we also have yarn. This came out in the reverse. Hassles, problems, big mess. So that would mean that whatever problems you've been dealing with is no longer a factor here. It's something that might have been very complex, very difficult to maneuver through, but it's definitely showing that you are working your way through that energy and it's no longer a blockage for you. So it looks like now there's security, there's stability. Now you can rest, is really what I'm picking up with that bedroom card. Now you can rest easy. Some of you may find that if you had a complex situation concerning your living circumstances, things are getting ready to change in that area of your life as well. And you'll be able to rest peacefully knowing that you are secure. Yeah, because if you deal with a lot of struggles here, it was a complex situation. This is also talking about binding forces. Um, there might have been some sort of ties that you had. It could have been soul ties if we're talking about sexual energy with the bedroom. Maybe there was some sort of soul tie that was binding you or preventing you from having that security. So you may be called to clear whatever that energy was. You know, even if you haven't dealt with anybody on that level in a long time, sometimes people neglect destroying and clearing all soul tie connections that they've made with people from their past in order to be able to clear that pathway. So you may consider doing that. I have the card of cabin, confined, detached, secluded, going within, disengaged. So some of you may find yourself spending more time in hermit mode. You know, maybe you popped out for a minute, but you may find yourself kind of going back into hermit mode again. Trying to see. Hmm. Before I was getting a much better view. Either way, it says cabin. There it is. So you may find yourself going into hermit mode again, where you're spending more time alone, having more time to do some deep thinking, um, and to really, yeah, take a look at hmm, some things that you might have been blinded to. Some of you, I will say that you're being called to step into the spotlight and to get your and to have your voice heard. Okay, with the microphone card, you may be called to get on social media or to, you know, express yourself on a larger platform. This is speaking on strong opinions, making your opinion known, current events, public speaking, speaking your truth, communication, social media, speaking up. So it's definitely something, you know, I feel like what's coming through, what's really making sense for me is that y'all have overcome a lot. You are now in a space where you're far more stable, you're protected, you're safe. And so now it's time for you to start speaking your truth and bring your testimony forward. Um, it feels like it's happening in waves because this message comes through ever so often, very similar to this, where it's encouraging you to speak your truth, to get into the spotlight and to let your voice be heard because you have a lot of wisdom, a lot of life lessons to be shared here to help people to come out of victim mentality. Those who have not received clarity about what's happening in their life, they feel out of touch, they feel oblivious to what's going on. This is where you come in to help give them some guidance, especially if they feel like things are stagnant for them. For many of you, you've been through very similar situations, and so you're able to help guide them. Yeah, and then you have the rainbow, wish granted, serendipity, your patience pays off, abundance, promise, manifesting wealth and prosperity. Okay, so something great is getting ready to come in with this rainbow card here. It's you've manifested this, you've called this in. This is something that you have earned. This could also be the key. This could be the key to your prosperity. In a lot of cases, if you feel like, okay, well, things are stagnant, I don't know why, it's because the key is you have to bring your testimony forward, and that at that point your spiritual team will say, okay, they get it, they've done their part to contribute to humanity by bringing their truth forward. Not saying that you're only going to do it one time, but it feels like it's going to open up something for you that might have been blocked before. And in other cases, you feel guided to be a public speaker in some way, shape, or form. So this is just verifying what you already feel guided to do, what you already feel is a part of your divine assignment. So this says flag, achievement, recognition, success, victory. Plans are coming into fruition. See, you're going to be able to say, yes, you've made it to the top. It was a struggle getting to the top of that mountain, but you're here. You know, started from the bottom, now we here. That's the type of energy that's showing up here for you. Now, let me see. You also have airplane. It's talking about travel, long distance. So some of you could be traveling here, and that could be a strong indicator that things are now moving forward, because this is also the card of freedom, no boundaries, breaking free, things working out, leaving the past behind. So things will definitely begin to speed up for you. Yeah, because for many of you, you had to go through that 555 energy, okay, where you had to deal with a lot of hardships, okay? You had to allow certain things to come to a close in your life, where you might have felt like, okay, shoot, it was hard to pick up the pieces, but really it wasn't meant for you to pick up the pieces. It was meant for you to just allow certain things to be put to rest in your life without trying to, put it all back together. So this is, yeah, overcoming adversity, overcoming setbacks and disappointments and hardships, misfortune. Like, y'all went through it all. So you have a lot to bring to the table when it comes to being able to guide others who are in the blind about where this path is taking them. I'm going to take one more from this deck. So I have empty nest, moving on, no one home, cycle is complete, final endings, making adjustments, new life. So yeah, it's like this energy of your spiritual team is saying, you have graduated, you're ready to level up and move to the next step of independence and being able to um, take care of yourself beyond, if you had any codependencies, because with the nest, it's like there's a safety net, right? There's this sense of security because there's a codependency or someone else or something else to keep you protected or secure, more so your security, your stability. But now I'm getting that there's a transformation that's happening in your life where you're being removed from a space where you thought that that's where you were supposed to be. You were supposed to be there for that period of time, but definitely not forever. So now there's a new phase that's happening that's ushering you into this new beginning, this new life. You're graduating to the next level. And so that also comes with you bringing forth your testimony about how you was able to overcome. So yeah, the number 5 stands out a lot. The number 8 also stands out in this reading, as well as the number 10. So 5, 8, 10. And let me see. Yeah, 6 also. So you have, yeah, the number 6 and the number 5 and the number 8, because you have 888, you have 555 and 666. So that's the main numbers that stand out here. So if you're seeing those numbers specifically, then you definitely know that this message is for you. So let's see, where is this headed? So I'm going to pull from a different deck. People are going to be wondering how you was able to make it to the next level of success. And a large part of your purpose is to share your testimony, because many of you have really powerful testimonies out there to show that you was able to stand the test of time. So this says sever ties. Then you have curse broken. So by cutting certain ties, remember that knot. We was talking about the soul ties. By cutting certain ties that you had with people, okay, things that caused certain struggle in your life or binding forces that was in your life. By cutting this energy, you broke curses. You've broken curses. And so consider your very first card was the uh, generational curse breaking, which came from the Declare and Decree deck. So breaking that generational curse is very, very powerful, especially if you have not done it yet. But then also breaking those soul ties on a sexual level is very important as well. And then cutting cords with certain people in your life who you know do not serve your next the next season. So this says you're protected. So that just verifies what already came out through the ancestors' message to show that they are protecting you at all times. You have the judgment card. So this is making a final decision. Let me see. What is the judgment all about? Veil lifted. So you're no longer going to be in the blind about what's happening around you. Okay. Protect yourself. Yeah. The judgment is that now you know how to discern who's right for you and who's not. And I'm looking at this huge yellow butterfly. It has black around the trimmings. Very beautiful butterfly. I saw it the first thing when I woke up this morning, and now it's returned again. So it's something about your solar plexus where now you're more courageous, you're more confident. You know how much power you naturally possess to overcome any circumstance. And if there's energies that, or forces that's trying to work up against you, you're also very, very confident in your ability to overcome whatever energy they try to send your way. So you have the card of trustworthy. So now you use your discernment to understand who's trustworthy, who's not trustworthy, based on your situations that you've gone through. Like you've been through so much that you're on point when it comes to your discernment and being able to um, determine who's right for you and who's coming in with the right intentions or who's not. The veil has been lifted. See, that's the truth. Okay. You're able to see the truth for what it is. And this has allowed you to regain your strength. Okay. You're no longer in this submissive, passive energy, but now you're able to also stay on course. So nothing will knock you off your square. That much is for certain. So you know that your spiritual team is always protecting you. I know that they're sending you all a lot of synchronicities, a lot of, different animals and different certain insects that might be coming around, certain dreams, visions. Like the more connected you are to nature, the more that you are noticing that you are most certainly protected. And that's giving you the confidence that you need to pursue different, new seasons and new beginnings here. See, the dark energy card came out. What is this dark energy? False contracts. See, that's what I'm saying. So by severing those false contracts and cutting ties with these people, whatever that low vibrational energy was that hovered around, that um, kept you from being able to see the truth, or that kept you blind or under a state of illusion, that energy is now being removed here. Yeah, because you had a lot of jealous and envious people that was around you that never wanted you to see the truth about who you are or the truth about the potential that you possess in order to overcome certain circumstances here. But now you've been set free. So you got a few people that are disappointed because they can't cage you in again. Okay, you're not going back. You're never looking back to that type of energy. You changed tremendously and you're going to continue to evolve. So let me see what else is coming through. See, you have consciousness and success. Okay, your eyes are open, your third eye is open, and now it's leading you towards a level of success that no one can take from you. This is something that you did through your own perseverance. Suppression. So let me see, what is the suppression card all about? Because that's about holding things in, of course. The number 10 is there, so it is indicating that there's a completion of that cycle. And yeah, it makes sense because you have so many cards coming out that indicates that you're being called to speak your truth. So you're no longer suppressing your truth. This is you coming forward and helping to guide others so that they too can navigate. Okay, friendliness is coming out here. I feel like you will attract people who are part of your tribe. Yeah, because this bird is flying out of the cage, but you can see above them, they're flying towards their tribe. So I feel like, yes, at one point you was caged in. At one point you felt like you couldn't get out of certain situations, but it was mostly self-imposed entrapment. It was really because of illusions, society, your upbringing, the matrix had you believing one thing, and it was false. And so now you've been set free. Now that you have a greater understanding, see, there's a new vision here, and you see at the bottom, there's someone crawling on their hands and knees. That used to be you, feeling like you were in a helpless situation, but now you stand tall and you're very confident in where this new beginning is taking you. And you see things very, very differently with that new vision. See, now you're exploring multiple possibilities. You're able to fly higher. You're able to see things from a different vantage point because your energy is so much higher. You're no longer in a victimhood mentality or feeling like the world is, against you. Now you're helping to co-create your world and your experience here in a spiritual realm and in a 3D. So you recognize the amount of power and authority that you possess with this transformation card because you've changed so much. You've changed so much. It's definitely showing that you have buried that old version of yourself. And because you was willing to make particular sacrifices in order to better yourself and to become stronger, you are now seeing the fruits of your labor. See, because this card of aloneness, for many of you, this path consisted of you going off alone. A lot of you, you didn't have nobody that you can call. At one point, you might have been looking at your phone like, damn, don't nobody call, and you ain't calling nobody. It's that type of situation, but it would also help you to explore things about yourself and about your existence here. So it really did open up doors for you in a way where you could better connect to the Most High, Mother and Father, and your spiritual team, and to be able to hear these messages without interference. So you have the card of postponement. I feel like this is past energy here. Let me clarify postponement, because I feel like things had to slow down for a minute so that you could see that it's not all black and white, but instead there's infinite possibilities. And so with the postponement, I feel like at one point things had to be slowed down so that you could see it from a higher perspective. You have the card of past lives here. So what you was being called to see is that some of these karmics that were surrounding you were past life energies that were placed on your path. Some was placed there to help you to develop. Others was placed there to try and stagnate your progression forward, with the postponement card coming out. So now that you see things differently after removing yourself from these energies and going on this pathway alone, turning away from these energies and deciding that, hey, time is up with this type of energy around you, that gave you the key. It was like the passageway, the door opened for you once you saw the truth about these situations. You have the card of schizophrenia. Some people tried to make you think you was outright crazy. Okay, some people tried to make you believe that the things that you were seeing, it was not true. And so in some cases, when you go off alone and you're on this spiritual journey and you're diving down that rabbit hole and you're discovering like a lot of different things, it's easy to feel like, it's a lot, it's a lot of information overload. And, either people will try to make you think that you're losing it, or even you yourself could start to believe that you're losing it. But that's why it's so important to stay grounded, because this person, they're suspended in the air, and it's like, you got to stay grounded. You have to stay connected to nature. And that's why that oak tree was one of your very first cards, which is strongly indicating that stay grounded, but also stay in alignment spiritually as well. So stay connected and rooted here, but also continue to search and to rise higher. So you have the card of stress coming out. So you did have some people around that wanted to cause a certain level of stress in your life. They wanted you to feel like you was juggling everything and you was carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders and you had to do it alone. But let me see what you need to know about the stress card. Yeah, that's only when you was clinging to the past, though. But many of you have released the past. It's no longer your burden. You're no longer allowing certain vices or certain addictive patterns to be that, to have a stronghold over your life. So some of you, it could have been alcohol or something, even if it wasn't like a literal substance issue that you had, it's just showing that it could have been certain things from the past that you was just clinging to it. You were suppressing it, because remember, the suppression card came out. So you wasn't speaking your truth. You wasn't getting or surrounding yourself by the people that would hear your truth or support you in your truth. But now, some of you might have taken up counseling, therapy, or you may be talking to other spiritual, people, other people that's on a spiritual journey that can help guide you. Whatever this is, it's definitely showing that now that you're no longer clinging to the past, uh, you're not attracting the same types of energies that just wants to come in and add to the stress that you're already dealing with, or that you were already dealing with. So that past life energy is now closed out. The world card is here, which shows that you will join forces with other enlightened beings who also have a divine mission on this planet to help, elevate the energy, elevate humanity, to enlighten, to heal. So there's a sense of balance that's being restored now. So whatever you've been fantasizing about, hoping for, visualizing, I could see you manifesting that into your reality. Nothingness. So this card is all about clearing out. It's like a total reset, not taking anything that is no longer serving you with you. It's like it's like erasing it all and starting from a blank canvas here, going back to your innocence. And even though you may be older, now that you're grown, now that you're looking at things through a new set of eyes, everything looks different. Everything has a spiritual meaning behind it. So you're no longer taking things for granted. You're exploring and discovering from a different vantage point. So now it says beyond illusion. It's because you're seeing beyond the illusions now. You're starting to see that nothing is just, because he's holding a praying mantis. So it's like, it's not just a praying mantis. Okay. This is a spiritual message. This is a good omen, right? So now you're starting to see, like, when you see certain things, you might find yourself getting very excited because it verifies something that you already felt, or it gives you that confirmation that you're on the right path to keep going, and to remind you that you have a spiritual team that's always surrounding you. Even certain messages is letting you know that you're getting closer to your wealth, getting closer to receiving that overflow of abundance. Like, you're seeing everything for what it is. So your inner child has now been healed. And that's why the innocence card came out prior to that, because it's showing that that innocence has been restored. Like, I just heard for some of you, if your innocence was taken at a young age, whether it was through sexual trauma or whatever you might have gone through that caused you to have to grow up fast, that innocence is now being restored. And so with this adventure, it's like your inner child is ready to get out there and to explore, no longer hiding or suppressing that imagination or that lighthearted energy, but instead expressing it openly. And so your inner child can now come out and play, is really what I'm hearing. And you're being called to trust the process, just go with the flow, surrender to the changes, and just fly free, fly high, fly free, see where life is taking you, and enjoy the moment to moment. Okay. But most importantly, staying in the now. So you also have here the creator. So you are the co-creator of your life now. You possess it's all in your hands. What do you want is really the question. What do you want? How do you want things to unfold? How do you want to contribute to the greater whole of things here? So let me see here. I've been on for about 30 minutes. I want to see, is there anything else that I should be touching on? I'll use this deck. So great things are happening for you, chosen. Great things. You're going to start to see forward movement if you haven't seen it yet. Just continue to do what you've been doing. You're breaking these curses. You're cutting these karmic contracts, untying and unbinding yourself from particular energies. You're going silent on karmic energy and only embracing people who are, who are upright, who have integrity, who are encouraging you to become the best version of yourself, because they're focused on that. So this says clear your mind. So if you're overthinking, try not to overthink. This is also Gemini energy. Clear your mind. And she's sitting outside meditating alone. So again, that alone time is really important. This says seek healing. So for some of you, you may consider continuing on your path of healing. And as you continue to seek healing, it's going to help you to lighten up your energy. See, it says lighten up. So this is really going to help you to thrive, because the lighter you are in your energy, the higher you fly. And so it's definitely showing that you're going to be able to take new heights. So with the third eye chakra coming through, your spiritual eyes are opening. You may consider doing some sun gazing, moon gazing, star gazing, working with your amethyst, lighting purple candles and writing affirmations of enlightenment on that candle. So you also have heartache and loss. So let me clarify, why is that coming through? Go for it. Okay, yeah, don't let anything. So I feel like you're working through any past pain that you might have experienced. That's no longer a stagnation for you, because in this energy is nothing but enclosed walls, right? There's not much, there's not many possibilities that's open to a person that's experiencing heartache and loss, because the only thing that they see and experience in that moment is just pain. But I can definitely see where you're coming out of that energy. There's a sense of freedom here, and you're being called to go for it. Take action towards this brand new beginning here. Yeah, and definitely allow your spiritual strength to carry you. Okay, you're getting stronger. Many of you have been working on healing your heart chakra specifically after going through a lot of very painful situations. So you have the card of blessings. Some of you might start to see yellow birds, but it's definitely showing that that solar plexus chakra is healed, is healing. So there's a lot of beautiful things is getting ready to start pouring in for you. It says love abounds. So like I said, that heart chakra is definitely healing, that self-love. Now we're looking at the root chakra, which is definitely showing that that security, that protection, knowing that you have everything that you need is right here. So then you also have accelerated motion. So things are going to begin to pick up. They're going to move forward for you very, very fast. At full speed. Okay, so I feel like that's why that bed, the bedroom came out. You're being called to rest up. Give yourself permission to get all of the rest that you need before this next phase of your life, because now things are really getting ready to start to take off for you, and that's why you have step into your power. So beautiful energy. I'll take one more, and then I'll take a message from my book. So this says accept responsibility. So she's looking at a reflection of herself. So it's like, yeah, accept responsibility for what roles you might have played in certain positions, certain situations that you had to endure, and also accepting the responsibility for being a co-creator of your life now, knowing that you possess everything that you need to create what you want. So what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with that knowledge? What are you going to do with your ability to use alchemy to transmute your situations? So this is really beautiful here. So now I'm going to pull a message from my book. Where is it? So let me see, what number should I turn to? I'll just pull a card just to get a random number. So this is message number 3. So this card says roundabout, community, connections, new direction. Okay, so there's something that's getting ready to shift when it comes to your community of people. But we have the number 3 here. So I'm going to look into my book at message 3. This book is called Guided Light. It's full of channeled messages by me. And of course, it's not meant to be read from front to back. It's meant for you to just open it and turn to whatever page you feel guided to. Or in the back of the book, I have 56 random messages where if you have a specific number that you feel drawn to, turn to that particular number and you'll get the message that you need. So let's see. Message number 3. So this says, take a moment to reflect and choose wisely. Currently, there are many ways to approach this issue, but not all will lead you to a positive outcome. Although it may feel overwhelming or difficult, remember that you can seek guidance from your spiritual team to help you to make the best decision for yourself. It's possible that your focus on challenges may be creating additional obstacles, making it hard to see the path forward. Keep in mind that there is duality in all things, and as a co-creator, your perception plays a significant role in how circumstances unfold. Even if the energy around you seems chaotic, you have the ability to transform to your benefit. You have the ability to transform it to your benefit. Once you let go of your perceived burdens, your vision will clear and you will be able to see the way ahead with ease. If you're frequently seeing the number 555, it signals a shift in energy. Keep moving forward. You got this. So I did notice the number 5 coming out in your message as well. So definitely a lot of changes that are happening. You're being called to just see it from a different perspective. Make sure that you check yourself. If you find that you feel confused, there's a sense of surrendering, speaking directly to your spiritual team. Let them know what you need. Just like they said here, they've heard your prayers. They're seeking currency from you so that they have access to the tools that they need in order to provide you with what you need here in the 3D realm. So consider using the ancestor money. And so that's what I have for you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to y'all next time.